Hey, what's up guys, it's Jackson3333 here, and today I'll be discussing the similarities between Naruto's Obito Uchiha and Arrow's Slade Wilson. Alright, so I've actually wanted to be making this video for a while now, I just never got around to doing it. So I thought I'd talk a bit about how I came to even come up with the idea of this video. Alright, so I got the idea from when I was playing Naruto Shippuden 4, Storm 4 actually, and I was playing the Obito parts, and I started realizing about Obito's backstory, and I started thinking, man, it's actually a lot like Deathstroke. And so I decided to go and look around online to see if there was anyone else who had made this, because I probably wasn't even planning on making the video, but then I noticed that no one else had even thought of this yet. I'm just like, man, I gotta jump on this. I'm probably not gonna get much views for it, but like, just to be the one and only. I mean, like, the only one I actually saw that actually, like, kind of resembled an Obito Deathstroke kind of thing was just back when Obito hadn't even been revealed as the Masked Man. And it was just, oh, who's the Masked Man? Oh, Deathstroke. And that was basically it. Alright, so now that I've got that out of the way, it's time to actually get onto the real thing, the comparison. Alright, so the way I'll be doing this is I'll be discussing the plot as well as the character design. With the plot, I'll be discussing the story that went through with these characters, as well as what they did throughout the story. And that's pretty much it. So without further ado, we're going to start with the plot of Obito Uchiha. So with the character of Obito Uchiha, it starts in the form of a flashback to show who the character is. And it starts with 3 people on a team, 2 guys, 1 girl, Obito, Kakashi, and Rin. Now there's a love triangle between the group because Obito loves Rin, although Rin loves Kakashi. So through a series of events, Obito ends up getting half his face destroyed and dies while surrounded by his other team members. But it turned out Obito wasn't dead, and his face was pretty much healed at this point, although he did lose an eye in the process. Now the reasoning as to why he survived are not important for this video, all that is what came afterwards. So eventually Obito ends up going to find Rin and Kakashi to tell them that he is alive. However, Obito gets there and sees that Rin has been killed and Kakashi was the one who did it. Obito ends up going on a murder spree, just killing all the Mist Ninja that are in his way. Enraged by what has just happened, Obito slowly goes insane and decides to make a plan to avenge her death. He comes back with the first version of his suit and starts to enact his plan. He ends up getting in a fight with his former ally / master Minato and is defeated. He comes back years later with a new costume to continue his plan he had started years ago. He gathers up an army of people who look just like him, although in this case most of them look just like his partner Zetsu, but I mean some of them do look like him. Kakashi and Obito end up fighting it out one last time to try and settle this score once and for all. Although in this series, Obito doesn't end up losing, like in Arrow. Alright, now it's time to compare that to the plot of Arrow's Slade Wilson. So Slade's storyline starts off in the form of a flashback with 3 friends, 2 guys, 1 girl, Oliver, Slade, and Shadow. There's a bit of a love triangle amongst the group as Slade loves Shadow, but Shadow loves Oliver. So, through a series of events, Slade ends up getting half his face destroyed and dies surrounded by his team members. But it turned out Slade wasn't dead and his face was pretty much healed at this point, although unlike Obito, he doesn't lose an eye. Yet. So eventually, Slade ends up going to find Oliver and Shadow to tell them that he is alive. However, Slade gets there and sees that Shadow has been killed and Oliver is the one who did it. Sort of. He ends up going on a murder spree, murdering all the soldiers that are near him. Enraged by what has just happened, Slade slowly goes insane and decides to make a plan to avenge Shadow's death. He comes back with the first version of his suit and starts to enact his plan. He gets into a fight with his former ally Oliver and is defeated by him. He also loses his eye in the process. He comes back years later with a new costume to continue his plan that he started years ago. He gathers up an army of people who look just like him to attack Oliver's city. Oliver and Slade end up fighting it out one last time to try and settle the score once and for all. So that was the plot of Obito Uchiha and Slade Wilson, and as you can see, it's pretty similar. Now I'm going to go and move on to the character design for Obito Uchiha. So although I said character design, I'm actually really talking about his costume design, and mostly his mask. So with Obito Uchiha, his mask starts off as this yellow and black mask with only one eye hole, mainly because he lost his eye. In the present, Obito's mask is pretty much the same as his yellow one, except now it's orange, and doesn't have those black marks leading to his eye. That's pretty much it for Obito's costume design, so now it's time to go and compare that to Slade's costume design. So like Obito, Slade's mask starts out as a yellow and black mask, although unlike Obito, his has two eye holes because he didn't lose an eye. In the present, Slade's mask is very similar to his flashback mask, except now it is orange and has only one eye hole. Alright, so now that that's all done with, I'm going to tell you guys about some bonus similarities that I thought didn't really make sense with the plot, but are still similarities nonetheless that I think should be said. So for starters, both Obito and Slade, whether directly or indirectly, killed at least one of the hero's parents. Obito indirectly killed both of Naruto's parents, while Slade directly killed Oliver's mother. So another similarity that I noticed was that during the final fight between the two characters, it cuts back and forth between the present fight that's happening and a flashback fight between those two characters. The final comparison that I wanted to make was that both of the characters had this other guy working for them who was supposedly the big bad, but turned out to just be a pawn in the other character's grand scheme. Also, just to add on to that last point, they both end up coming to their senses eventually and die helping the hero. So there you have it. Those are all the similarities I could find between Obito Uchiha and Slade Wilson. So, I probably are missing a few of them, so if anyone has found any others that I didn't say in this video, feel free to comment down below. And if anyone disagreed with anything I had to say, feel free to comment that as well. I'd like to get feedback from all you guys, despite how little amount of feedback I usually get, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, besides that, I just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. It was a really fun thing I got to do. I had fun all the way through. So anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day, or night, or life.